A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant military operation, forces from the United States and the United Kingdom have conducted joint airstrikes targeting Houthi drone manufacturing sites near Yemen's capital, Sanaa. The British Ministry of Defense confirmed that the strikes, which occurred overnight, were aimed at facilities identified as being used for the production of drones that have been involved in attacks on vessels in the Red Sea. This operation marks a notable escalation in the ongoing conflict and highlights the international community's response to the Houthi threat to maritime security. The strikes took place approximately 24 kilometers south of Sanaa, with UK intelligence pinpointing a cluster of buildings utilized by the Houthi armed group for drone manufacturing. The UK government emphasized that the operation was executed with careful consideration to minimize civilian casualties, although specific figures regarding casualties have not been disclosed. This joint operation comes in the wake of an intensified military campaign by the US, which has conducted numerous strikes against Houthi targets since mid-March, following President Donald Trump's directive for decisive action against the group. The Pentagon reports that over 1,000 targets have been struck in Yemen, resulting in the deaths of Houthi fighters and leaders, while also degrading their operational capabilities. However, the escalation of military activity has raised significant concerns regarding civilian safety. Reports from Houthi-affiliated media indicate that a recent U.S. strike on a detention center for African migrants resulted in the tragic loss of 68 lives. Human rights organizations, including Watana for Human Rights, have documented numerous civilian casualties attributed to recent U.S. actions, prompting calls for accountability and caution in military operations. Radia al-Mutawakkil, chairwoman of Watana, expressed deep concern for Yemeni civilians caught in the crossfire, stating, "For over a decade of armed conflict, Yemeni civilians have been the targets of indiscriminate and disproportionate attacks by warring parties. At a time when they were hoping to see an end to this bloody chapter of their lives, they now find themselves potential targets of U.S. forces attacks." An unnamed U.S. defense official acknowledged awareness of the civilian casualty claims from the recent strike and indicated that an assessment is underway. The Houthis, who have maintained control over significant portions of Yemen for nearly a decade, have increased their missile and drone attacks on vessels they allege are linked to Israel, further complicating the security landscape in the region. The UK Ministry of Defense confirmed that the airstrikes were part of a broader strategy to counter Houthi aggression towards international shipping in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. Defense Secretary John Healey stated, "This government will always act in the interests of our national and economic security." Royal Air Force Typhoons have successfully conducted strikes against a Houthi military target in Yemen, and all UK aircraft and personnel have returned safely to base. Healey further elaborated on the threat posed by Houthi activities, describing them as a persistent threat to freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. He highlighted the economic implications of reduced shipping through the region, which has reportedly dropped by 55%, costing billions and contributing to regional instability. The recent airstrikes represent the first military engagement by UK forces in Yemen since May of the previous year, and they signify a renewed commitment to international security efforts under the Trump administration. The Houthis' recent military actions have been framed as expressions of solidarity with Palestinians amid the ongoing conflict with Hamas in Gaza. As the situation continues to unfold, the international community is closely monitoring developments in Yemen, with a particular focus on the humanitarian impact of military operations and the need for a sustainable resolution to the conflict. The dual airstrikes by US and UK forces underscore a collaborative approach to addressing the multifaceted challenges posed by the Houthi armed group and their threats to maritime security. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.